Okay, good morning class. So today we're looking at grade 9, June, second paper on page 191. The second part of the paper we got up until question 4C at this point. Okay. So let's go again. Take 2. So we told that EF is equal to EG. With that being said, we know that this angle there is equal to that angle there. Not so? Angles, base angles of a sausage triangle here. So it's going to be angles opposite equal sides. Then we are told that H is the point on EG such that FH is equal to FG. Which now in turn means to say that angle G is equal to FHG, which is that angle there. Okay? Then we are told that angle E is 50 degrees. So I can actually work out the size of that angle and that angle, which is also equal to that angle there. Then we are asked to calculate X, and X would be exterior angle of triangle, equal to sum of the two interior opposite. And in turn they also have asked you to calculate E, H, F, which is this angle there. Okay. So let's go with it. Since that length is equal to that length, we can say that angle G is equal to angle EFG. Could I have just said angle F at that point? No, why? Many angles at F. And the reason there is angles opposite equal sides. So I'm going to call it rather G. So angle G for this triangle here, angle G plus angle EFG, which is also G, which is 2G, plus 50 degrees equals 180. Why? Sum of triangles in this triangle EFG. Take it 50 over, so angle double G is equal to 180 minus 50, which is 130, divided by 2 is 65 degrees. 65 degrees. So what I do is I put 65 on my diagram. Whoops. Put this 65. 65. Are you all okay with that? No? Then we noted that this angle is equal to that angle, also angles opposite equal sides. Okay? So we're going to say that F HG is also 65 degrees. Why? Angles opposite equal sides. There is also 65. Now to calculate X, you see here? Exterior angle of triangle. Okay. So we have 65 degrees equals 50 degrees plus X. Exterior angle of triangle, dot dot dot, and this triangle EHF. So X is equal to 50. There we go. You all see that? Understand? Then they ask you to calculate. Let's just take this out here. That is 65. So now they ask you to calculate EHF. EHF, which is this angle here. So we can now calculate EHF. Angles on a straight. Not so. Or I could have worked out sum of triangles. Or I could have worked exterior angle of triangle. Many ways. Because at this point I have calculated many angles. So it's going to be 65 degrees plus EHF equals 180. Straight line. So EHF is equal to 180 minus 65, which is 115. Alright? So that is fairly simple. The approach I took in the previous one. Okay. You see what happened with the previous approach we had was we didn't mark it properly. Can you see here? Remember that when we read through the information, we marked out what was equal, and then I took it all away, and that is where we lost the plot. Okay. So just have to remind ourselves exactly where we're going with the diagram. So that's that. Okay. Any confusion at this point? No? Right, let's look at question 5. In question 5, we are told that in the diagram AC is parallel to DF. So which means to say alternate angles are equal. Not so. So this is going to be 2y. Or alternate angles going this way. Can you see that? This way. So there's the angle and that angle, so that's going to be 2x. Not so. Or we can call it cointerior angles here, which is 2y plus 2x is equal to 180. Not so? And probably many more. Okay. Then we are told that CBP is equal to PBE, which is equal to x, and then we are told that angle BEP is equal to PEF, which is equal to y. Not so? So the question says prove that x plus y is equal to 90 degrees. So how are we going to do that? X plus y is equal to 90. Let me just talk about cointerior angles now. Not so? So we can say that 2x plus 2y equals 180. Why? Cointerior angles. With AC being parallel to DF. Not so? Divide by 2. So x plus y equals 90 degrees. Not so? Why you look so confused? Not confused? No, what look is that you got? Oh, it's on your eyes. I'm confused. Any confusion here? You all okay with that? In number 2, they ask you to prove that BPE, this angle here is 90 degrees. So how are we going to prove that is 90? We set up an equation dealing with this angle. And what are we going to do here? Sum of triangles. Can you see that? So what do we say? X plus y plus angle P, which is BPE, equals 180 degrees. Why? Sum of triangles. It is triangle BPE. Not so? But what is x plus y? 90 degrees. So 90 degrees plus PE is equal to 180. Take a 90 over, so BPE is equal to 90 degrees. There we proved it. Instead of saying this, you could also say you're required to prove that BP is perpendicular to PE. I would have done exactly the same thing. Okay? People, you guys understand? And I can't believe I'm going to give you 7 marks for that. I'll say maybe 5 marks. No? But if they give you 7, don't say no, Mr. Party won't give you 7 marks, so leave it out. No. You do it, sir. Okay. I'll give you 2 there and 3. Why? Because there's so much more I want to teach you on. Not so? Oh God. in the accompanying diagram, BA, you see now why you guys do English? Why you do English? To read your maths paper, absolutely. We are told that in the diagram, AB is equal to AC. AB is equal to AC. Nice, nice. So what does that mean? That angle ABC is equal to angle C, which is 35 degrees. Why? Angles opposite, equal sides. The question says, prove that AP is parallel to TB. Okay. Now to prove that, so I'm going to go with this first. No? I'm not going to read this again. To prove that lines are parallel, what are we going to do? How do you prove lines are parallel? Nobody making eye contact. Yes, how do you prove lines are parallel? Oh, you're not making eye contact anymore. How do you prove lines are parallel? What's grade 12? How do you prove lines are parallel? Yes. You must prove that the fun angles can be applied. Because if this line was parallel, then we could have used alternate angles be equal. We could have used the fact that corresponding angles are equal. We could have used the fact that cointerior angles are supplementary. If the lines was parallel. Now to prove that lines are parallel, now we prove that alternate angles are equal, corresponding angles are equal, and cointerior angles are supplementary. Can you see that? People, if what I'm trying to show you here is these angles, are those corresponding angles? Yes. Is the F not formed there? Yes. But they're not equal. So which means to say what? What does that mean? That means to say that AB is not parallel to CD. Why? Because of the corresponding angles are not equal. But are they corresponding? Yes, the F is being formed. Well done. Give her a round of applause to see it. One day we're going to be just like you. Huh? One day. Just not to die. Okay? But you guys understand. People, are these lines parallel here? We first need to know the angles. We can't just say it's parallel. Can you see that, people? So if this is 20 degrees and this is 21 degrees, are those lines parallel? No. Are they alternate? Yes. But since the alternate angles are not equal, the lines are not parallel. It's only when the alternate angles are equal are the lines parallel. Makes sense? Likewise with cointerior angles. If that is 2x minus 20. Why did I choose that number now? I must think what's going to give me 180 now. 200 minus 2x. Are those lines parallel? Yes. Why? Because if I add this up, what do I get? 180. So those lines are parallel. Makes sense? So the alternate angles has to be equal for the lines to be parallel. The corresponding angles has to be equal for the lines to be parallel. But your cointerior angles must be, what do we call this, add up to 180? Supplementary. The cointerior angles must be supplementary or add up to 180 for the lines to be parallel. Makes sense? So let's go back to what the golfing and debate said. She's saying that to prove that these lines are parallel, we can't use the fact that they are parallel to prove that it's parallel. It makes sense? So I can't say that that is 75 and that is 75, therefore it's parallel. I can't use that. I must prove that it's both 75. Makes sense, no? So she's saying that angle ABP is equal to 35 degrees. Why? Angles opposite equal sides. Not so? That is 35 degrees. ABP. Why? Angles opposite equal sides. So what do you see now? So hang on. But this angle is what? 75. And that angle is 75. So what do we notice? What can form here? Corresponding angles. Seen here today. You guys understand? Yeah. So how do we say that? We say since, we state the obvious, okay? Since angle TBP, or I could also say TBC, it's the same thing, equal to APC, which is equal to 75. Not so? So since that is the case, therefore TB is parallel to AP. On what account are they? What case of fun angles am I using here? Corresponding. So therefore it's parallel. Reason? Because the corresponding angles are equal. You see, normally when we use the reason corresponding angles, then what do we put next to it? The set of parallel lines you used. Not so. But because I proved that is your set of parallel lines to be used, that's why I'd rather say corresponding angles are equal. Watch for this here. You must say equal. Otherwise, if we use the lines of parallel, we have to say the set of parallel lines that is being used. Okay. People, you guys understand? This is the first time you do something like this, no? That's why I'm going a bit slower over this. And that is why it's also important to do past papers. You can see what actually gets asked and the variations to those questions. It is not enough only to do the syllabus. You guys understand? So in future, in your other subjects as well, you do a lot of past papers. Okay? And then you can get a feel of what is being asked and how things get asked in an exam. Okay, that's why when you hear people, they tell you, no, they went blank when they saw the question paper. That is normal. If you don't work through past papers. Okay? So it's very, very important to work through past papers. Then the next question says, to prove that AT is parallel to BP or PC. So if those lines was parallel, then alternate angles would have been equal. So if I can prove this angle is 35, I've done the job. Not so. I can't correspond the corresponding with those angles. If the cointerior angles both ways can work as well, that way and this way. No? But going this way, if I prove that plus this adds up to 180, I've done the job. And they have got the angles already sorted, not so? So I can go with that. So again, we're proving the lines are parallel. So I can't use the fact that alternate angles are equal. I can't use the fact that corresponding angles are equal. I can't use the fact that cointerior angles are supplementary. I must prove that that can work in this situation. Make sense, people? So, let's go with it. So I'm going with cointerior angles here, no? So what do we say? We say that angle T, you can say since, we're stating the obvious. So I got all my angles sorted out. Since angle T plus T, B, P. Or can I just say angle B? No, why not? More than one angle there. Since angle T plus this angle, which is 105, plus 40, plus 35. What does that add up to? 180. Can you see that? So those angles adds up to 180. Therefore, TA is parallel to PP. Why? Cointerior angles are equal. Are they equal to each other? Well, what do you see here? Cointerior angles are supplementary. Cointerior angles are supplementary. Why is it equal? Okay? Or you're going to say cointerior angles adds up to 180. Make sense, people? Alright, you guys can watch this video again later if you have any confusion there. Or do you have any confusion at this point before we move on? It's very clear, no? Straightforward. Okay. You're not going to get it on your first attempt. Go through it again later on. And then, if you have any problems, you can post it in the group and you can ask questions with regards to any of the topics that you study. Okay? So, if you study your paper 1 and you have a problem, or you have a problem with your tuition questions, or your friend asks you a question that they think you can't answer, no problem. Refer to the group. No? It will give the others also a chance to think. Okay? So you guys don't think much, no? Huh? So we want our minds to be challenged most many times, isn't it? Right. The question C1 says, which formula do we use to calculate the sum of the interior angles of a polygon with n sides? Which formula do we use? Who can tell me? Oh my words. Right. Three-sided figure. If your number of sides is 3, this adds up to what? 180. The number of sides is 4. What does this add up to? 360 years. And this is 5. What does this add up to? Huh? 540 years. With 6. What? Oh. 6 sides. How do I get it? Remember, one triangle adds up to 180. 2 triangles, 180 times 2, 360. Yes, Zoe is far ahead of us. What if it was 10 sides? Wait. 10 sides are we? 180 times? $1,800. No? 1,000? Okay, let's check. Okay. Yeah, it's a pattern being formed. Yes. It's very clear. Just give the answer. Don't tell me all of this. Alright, let's check. Let's check. So this, how many triangles can be formed here? 3. So it's 180, 180, 180. So 180 times 3. What's 180 times 3? 540. How many triangles can be formed here? 4. So it's 180 times 4. Sorry? 720. This was? How many triangles can fit in a 7-sided figure? 5. So it's 180 times 5. Which is? 900. Which makes it right here. So this is going to be 180 times 8. Which is? 1,000? 440. 50. 40. You see that? So what is the formula? What do you notice? What relationship exists between the number of sides and the number of triangles? Number of sides, number of triangles. 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 Number of sides. What do you notice? It's always -2. Then what do? Times 180. So the formula gets that is used for the interior angles of a polygon, if n is the number of sides, if there are n amount of sides, whatever amount of sides, what do? Minus it by 2. And then I multiply it by 180. And that's the formula. Okay? Makes sense? Mark it in. Right. That's the first answer there. Number 2. It says, now prove using the formula that the sum of the interior angles of a pentagon equals 540. Penta has how many sides? Pentagon is 5 sides. So it's going to be the interior angles is equal to 180 multiplied by 5 minus 2. And that's going to give you 3, which is 540. What if they ask you what is the interior angles, the size of the interior angle of a regular pentagon? What does regular mean? What does regular mean? All the angles and all the sides are the same size. Not so. What does irregular mean? Irregular pentagon. All the angles and all the sides are not the same. Regular, all the angles and all the sides are the same. Irregular, all the angles and all the sides are not the same. You understand? So if I ask you what is the interior angles of the regular pentagon, then all of these angles are going to be the same. How many angles are here? 5. 5 sides, 5 angles. 12 sides, 12 angles. So that would be 540 divided by 5, which is going to give you 108. So the interior angles of each angle of a pentagon is going to be 108 of a regular. But that wasn't the question. The question was just the interior angles. So therefore 540 is the answer that they are looking for at that point. People, any confusion at this point? No. Alright, for homework. We have 10 minutes left. In this time you can do 10 sums, of course. You're going to do for me. Jy gaan vraag. That's grade 8. Which paper are we on now? Paper 2 of the June, no? Right, so I want you guys to do for the next lesson paper 1. I'm going to start cutting that paper for tomorrow's lesson. Yeah, that you can use. You can make up in your own time. That grade 8 questions as I indicated from earlier on at the beginning of the lesson. That you can do in your own time. Okay. I would also like to get through a certain amount of papers before you start your exams, which is in a couple of days' time. Okay, so doing this homework, people, and going through these past papers, it is a form of preparation, preparation for your upcoming exam. Okay, so use this time to work through it. And that of studying the day before you write your maths paper should come to an end now. Or telling yourself, don't worry man, I will sort it out in the exam. Okay, as you could see in the past, that doesn't work. Who did it work for so far? Besides that one that put up a hand now. Yes? It worked for you, you say. You can figure it out in the exam. No? Not everybody is so fortunate like she is. So gifted. Okay. And Leah also says she can sort out in the exam. Okay, we'll see this exam around Leah. People, for tomorrow's lesson. This paper is fairly large or long. It's 150 marks. So I don't expect you to do all of those questions in one go. During your free periods today, which you have many of, the other teachers were not working. They must did their syllabus already. Huh? Are they still working with you guys? You tell them to relax. Okay, I'll speak to them. So, as you know, I don't know. People, for homework, the grade 9 first paper, November. This is on page 199. You do for me questions 1, 2. You're going to do for me question 3, but question 3 is not examinable. Question 3.2, 3.1 is not examinable. Okay, that is your number line. Okay, in this syllabus, it used to be part of. I know we tested you in the first term as well. No? It was brought to our attention that it is not examinable, so it won't be examined in your final exam. Okay, but I will explain it again. In tomorrow's lesson, I'm going to explain it again how you do it. So when you come to grade 10, you have a better understanding of it, because it's been taught you again in grade 10 anyway. And it's a very, very important aspect to understand for the sections to come, like graphs. Okay? And we'd use it extensively in algebra as well. Okay? 3.3 is scientific notation. Yes, that's definitely in. Then question 4, your factorization and your algebraic fractions. So I expect you to get up until question, is 5 too much? No, okay. So yeah, I'm expecting you to get up until question 5 tomorrow. Okay, so in tomorrow's video, we're going to do up until question 5. Okay? You guys okay with that? Yeah. Right, so during break and after school. You see all those activities you guys have to do during the day. Rather sit in a maths book. No? People will think there's something wrong with you. But it's fine. It's going to benefit us in the long run. Not so? Yes. Right. So you guys have 5 minutes. You can start with it now. Okay.